Hello. So I was thinking the other day, how can you define a masterpiece? I mean, we all know the definition of masterpiece, but what can you show as a masterpiece without molding? Because, well, let's be clear. I'm sure you know the feeling that when you show someone a piece of media as a masterpiece, they most likely gonna show a bad thing in it. So, short story. I was thinking a media piece that I can confidently call a masterpiece. And I think I found one. It's also been my favorite game of all time, Undertale. Let's start from the beginning. What is Undertale? It's a game. You can play it. It doesn't take a genius to finish the game. And in fact, it's actually a pretty easy game. And the reason for it is, I'm guessing, at least partly because the game was made by only one person and focuses heavily on story. Yes, this guy named Toby Fox one day woke up and chose to make the best thing ever, just like that. The development time for the game took 32 months, and just like I said, this guy worked on almost everything, besides sprite works done by Tammy Chang. He is the designer, developer, composer, and even the publisher. So, with that, I'm closing the development time and directly jumping on the game. And just like always, this game, being so heavily reliant on story, is requiring you to know English or Japanese, that's cool too. Bazı Türkçe yamalar buldum ama denemediğimden ne kadar iyi çalıştıkları hakkında bir şey söylemem ayıp olur. Now then, let's start with the strongest aspect of the game, the story. The Undertale story is actually a really simple one. If I had to make a summary, it would be like this. In this world, both humans and monsters live together in harmony, until humans said no, I guess. And since they were much more based at magic than monsters, they exiled them to the underground and put a barrier on it, so no monster could roam the earth again. Then, well, that sums up the world at least. You are a child who's exploring the mountains until you fall down below and into the monsters world. From there, the story takes some twist. You constantly meet new and excellently written characters, but your goal never changes. You have to get out of the mountain. By what means is completely up to you. So yeah, that was the shortest and most spoiler-free way I could describe the story. And did you notice my wording at the end? The by what means is up to you part? Yeah, I was being serious. Undertale is one of those whatever choice you make will affect the story type games, and it works beautifully if you ask me. And of course, since your choices affect the story, it also affects the ending you get. Now, there's no way I can say I'm confident about this information, but according to the subreddit, there are 93 different endings. And no, unfortunately, not all of those endings are super different or something. The two proper or biggest endings are labeled as pacifist and genocide endings. I'm sure you can guess why. The rest of the endings are all text-based, neutral endings with slight differences. So yeah, that was the story. Let's move to the next segment, gameplay. Undertale is a role-playing game that uses a top-down perspective. While playing the game, you get through either scripted or random encounters. Encounters being a turn-based bullet storm, while you have to survive your enemy's attack, then either escape, fight, or talk to them. Of course, it's not that simple. The game likes to throw curveballs at you with running segments, light puzzles, and sometimes some enemies just straight up won't let you perform certain moves. Of course, since I decided to do this review without spoilers, I can't really talk to you about specific segments, so I'm just gonna say play the game. It's a cheap game, and we both know mom's credit card is not that far away. Next segment, graphics. Now I know the game looks like it came out in 1995, but well, I mean only one person made this game, and since the focus of the game is heavily on a masterful story, I'd say cut the guy some slack. And if I have to make a critique of the graphics, I'd say there aren't that many colorful sprites, but then there are pretty good arguments in the game's fighting mechanics. And if the pixels make your eyes hurt, Well, I was gonna be mean and call you all bad gamers, but A-side is an important matter, so just take short breaks on it, king. Next segments, music. I mean, you have been listening to the video, haven't you? All the levels, all the bosses, hell, even some of the normal monsters have their own music. And oh my god, the soundtrack of this game is so good. Even after 7 years, I found myself listening to those tunes from time to time. I'm not even gonna mention the most popular one, you know which one I'm talking about. And that was all. Wow, that was the shortest script I have ever written. Huh. Whatever, have a good time and see you in future. Bye.